Hi, welcome to Life in a Bottle, Season 3, Episode 6. I am Kyle, back again with a wine that I am absolutely ecstatic to be bringing to you guys this week. This is one of those wines where every time Cody and I talk about them, we kind of have the same consensus, and that's I don't drink enough of those wines because they're so freaking delicious. So, big picture, let's zoom out. Where are we? We're in France. We are in the Rhone Valley, in the northern Rhone, and the region of Saint-Joseph. This is the 2016 Etienne Becheras, Saint-Joseph, Les Prieure d'Arras. And I'm hoping I pronounced that okay-ish. I'm getting better. I'm trying. To give you a little bit of backstory on Etienne. Etienne was the head of a local co-op that grew grapes and made wine together for a good handful of years. He's also known during that time to be quite a teacher and mentor to more than a handful of up-and-coming winemakers. With those days behind him, he is now content to farm 12 hectares or 26, 27-ish acres in the northern Rhone Valley. Only 2 of those hectares source this wine. The remainder of his land is split up among a couple of areas of vines, a little bit of white, a little bit more red, and then in an effort to promote biodiversity on the land that he farms, he's got an orchard planted where he grows apricots and cherries. And around that orchard, he's got a forest of native hardwood trees that provide even more diversity in flora and fauna, particularly flora-wise in the area of mushrooms and truffles. And I might be getting ahead of myself a little bit, but when we come to pairings, we'll revisit those. He's farming completely organically. These vines are between 10 and 65 years old, and they're planted into the hillside of limestone and gravel. These grapes are 100% Syrah. This wine in particular comes in at 13%, which is not particularly huge, but I think it's just the right amount of alcohol because it gives it beautiful weight and texture without being hot or heavy. To dive into the glass, the nose on this guy is just plain pretty. It's so beautiful. This is one of those wines you could drink pretty much any time of year. Summertime, around the grill, you throw this in the fridge for a little bit, bring that fruit right out. It's so delicious, but it's also got just enough meat on its bones to be super cozy, especially this time of year. It's February right now, by the way. The blackberry comes right out. It's super ripe. I shouldn't say super ripe. It's super strong, but it's like just perfectly ripe. But behind that fruit is so much savory complexity. Cracked black pepper, some savory black olive. There's a ton of granitic mineral, that like granite or crushed granite mineral that comes through. That's super indicative of the region, but also super indicative of these wines. There's a little bit of a rustic edge, but not too much. It's not super gamey on the nose especially, but there's a little bit of that umami-rich kind of meatiness that comes through. On the palate, the wine has a richness to it that's just like, it's perfectly balanced. It's not super heavy, but it's velvety without being too lush and juicy. It's still got some freshness. It's still got some brightness. On the palate, there's even more concentration to that umami savoriness. That black olive, that little bit of whisper of smoke comes through, a little bit of meatiness. I feel like this is completely textbook Northern Rhone Syrah. You get all those hallmarks, the blackberry, a little smoke, the meatiness, the black tea, the black olive, that little whisper of herbaceous violet comes through as well. It's killer. It's absolutely perfect. What would I pair with this? I know what I'm going to pair with it this weekend for Valentine's Day. The missus and I just settled on a porterhouse. Something a little bit on the leaner side that still has some really beautiful rich meatiness, I think is going to be an absolutely perfect companion to this wine. Filet mignon, 100%. Roasted mushrooms, grilled portobello, anything that has that kind of rich umami to it is also going to go really beautifully with this wine because they complement each other, but you still get enough contrast with that little fresh acidity that retains and that beautiful concentrated blackberry that comes through. Etienne, absolutely killer. Cheers. Absolutely can't wait to crack another one this weekend.